Hey guys, what's going on? Just before this video gets started, I want to let you know I'm doing a giveaway at the end of the video. So if you want to win this disc right in front of my face right here, be sure to stay to the end of the video to find out details on how you can win it. I don't have a big channel, so your chances are much higher than, other disc golf channels. So stay tuned to the end. Make sure to figure it out. I want to give a little background. I played a tournament called Coastal Clash in Baytown. You played one round at Jenkins, one round at Evergreen. It was a B tier, and we played Jenkins first in the morning. I played pretty good. I was bogey free, shot 4 down, left a few strokes out on the course, but who doesn't, honestly? So going into the second round at Evergreen, I'm in MA2. So intermediate. I'm not open. Working my way there, but not there yet. So going into round 2 at Evergreen, I was tied for second at 4 down. The leader, I believe, came in at 6 down, so 2 strokes behind. He's on the card. This is the lead card. Nick Carroll actually caught up to me after my first round and was like, hey, can I film MA2 lead card for you? And I was like, yeah, dude. So if you haven't checked out Nick Carroll Disc Golf on YouTube, I'll leave a link to him down below. He's been doing a lot of local round coverage and actually makes really good disc golf videos and content. And I've been really enjoying him. He's such a nice dude. And please be sure to go give him love, subscribe. And he put together this video of just me winning Coastal Clash. So these are all my shots only on the hot round that I put down for Evergreen in the second round of MA2. We got the W, and I'm glad to have it on footage. Thank you, Nick Carroll. And so what I'm going to do is just walk you through that round, and we're going to talk about what it took to take down this event. We started at hole 8 at Evergreen. It's a big shot. This is a par 4, 558 feet. I swear, man. So we start on hole 8 at Evergreen, par 4, 558 feet. I really just want to give myself a look at a 3. A 4 is okay, but on this hole, as long as you stay in bounds, a 3 is pretty easy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a C-Line FD3, my lucky purple C-Line FD3, and pumping one out between those trees to about 320 maybe, leave myself, just under 300 for the approach to the basket. So this is just a stock hyzer, just punch it out there, let it fade back to the left, and that sets you up for a nice little forehand upshot to the basket. And I end up leaving this a little bit short. I threw it a little bit higher than I wanted, but I thought the wind would take it because it is coming left to right. I'm a few feet outside the circle, and this putt was just horrendous for my birdie. Yuck. You ever have those putts that feel like they just come out of your hand really early? Well, that's what I did. But good to know that my putt was on line and hit the pole, tap in par. Everyone but one person on my card birdied that. So I already lost 1 stroke to 3 of the people on the card. So now we're going into hole 9, probably the most birdieable hole on the course. It's a really short chip shot at 220 feet downhill. Nate Sexton actually aced this hole on Texas State's in 2017, so you can go back and watch that. I'm taking a putter here, my penny putter, which usually flips over, but as we'll watch right here, I didn't give it enough, and I left the nose up, and the wind got under it, and I floated it, and just right out of bounds. So already I'm putting outside the circle from OB for a par, and this is a long putt. I just wanted to give myself a chance, but I didn't want to blow past it. So I gave it a little floaty bid here. The camera angle, I feel like, makes it look worse than it was, but it was a pretty good putt. Good to know I'm feeling the putt. I'm just a little bit off. Tap in for a bogey. I'm 1 over on the round, which is not what you want to be after 2 holes. The leader of the event went birdie on those first 2 holes. So now I already dropped, 3 strokes on the first 2 holes. I dropped 3 strokes. So I'm just digging myself a hole. And I just needed to calm down and get myself back into it. I know on this hole I need to get right, so I'm forehanding my most overstable PD2, just making sure I get right out in the open. Not looking for a birdie here necessarily. Just want to pitch up for par and stop the bleeding, which is exactly what happens here. At this point, going through my head, I'm like, oh, you know, it's a stressful moment of, I drop strokes. I don't think I'm gonna win this. I guess now it's just don't even worry about the score. Just have fun. Get birdies when you can. Just don't give up stupid strokes by going out of bounds. So that was my game plan. This hole is a little scary. There's a lot of water on the left, and my drive, I left it a little too left. Luckily, it kind of peninsulas out, so I go right over the basket there, but I'm still on land, which is good. But I'm like 50 feet away, and this putt wasn't great. It was actually really bad. You can see my reaction. Oh, dude, where are you going? So tap in par, which is fine. We're still 1 over on the day. Not great, but this hole I know I can birdie. Almost 600 feet, par 4. There's a lot of water off on the left when you get up and over that hill, so I really just wanted to be outright. You almost add an additional 150 to 200 feet by taking this route, but I have a good size, a good arm in terms of power, so I was just like, take a PD2, pump one out to the right, maybe 350, and just work your way up from there. So this was a good placement shot. Left myself on flat ground, taking my C-line FD3, thinking super overstable, but there's the headwind, and it flipped up a little bit and left me well outside the circle and behind the only tree by the basket for this birdie putt, which was actually pretty dang close, and I'm glad that sat because that could pop up and roll in the water if it wanted. That's a par. That's okay. So I have stopped the bleeding at this point. My headspace is much calmer. I'm not stressing as much, and I'm just, trying to put good shots out there, trying to avoid going out of bounds. Just like this hole, the basket is directly behind the hill by that bunch of trees. It's a much shorter shot if you throw a backhand over the cart path on the right, but that edge of the cart path in right is out of bounds, and I want to avoid that at all costs. I don't want to take the possibility of kicking a tree or anything, so I'm just taking my overstable DD3, putting one out to the left, staying in bounds, and wouldn't you know it, this shot was perfect. Felt really good, came out clean, and I'm so close to the basket that I figured, hey, this DD3 got me here. I'll putt with it, give it the birdie, the solo bird, So this next hole, hole 14, 525 feet, par 4, you can see that cart path kind of snakes in to the left, and everything right of that cart path is OB. Once again, I want to stay in bounds. We had a little bit of tail right to left, so once again, PD2 on hyzer, get out there about 350, and just stay in bounds. So that's what I do.
Stable. That's a fucking good shot. Stable disc.
And it sits up pretty nice for a pretty simple approach with a exo-soft tactic. Just put it on a little hyzer, let the wind bring it closer to the basket. Skip, pop, roll, under the basket, tap in birdie. So I finally get myself under par. Now we're under par. Hole 15, 240 feet. This hole is pretty simple, but there's a lot of OB to contend with, especially with wind that you get at Evergreen. So my goal was throw a putter and just hit the wall. That's all you got to do.
Like fucking Kevin Jones, baby. I keep it low.
So I threw my premium plastic Lone Star Discs penny putter and literally was just trying to hit the wall in front of the basket, which is exactly what I did. It's always a nervy putt when you're putting from 6 feet down, or I guess like 5 feet down. And this putt was so high on the basket. It looked like it went under the band with how high it hit. And it was very nervy, but I was very happy. 3 birdies in a row. I'm feeling hot. And my mentality is, okay, you're playing very consistently. Keep this up. There might still be a chance to, have a good finish, at least in second or third place. So this hole is 253 feet. It has kind of a headwind, but with these bushes here, the wind kind of dies down. So what I'm doing is throwing an origin at maybe 50% power and just letting it flip up and cruise to the basket, which it does perfectly. I couldn't ask for more. Those origins are awesome. Loving that disc. And got a nice little friendly kick off the tree to put me right next to the basket. Reward the disc. And we did it, ladies and gentlemen. Hole 17, 312 feet. Pretty simple hyzer shot. There is out of bounds on the right. So while I know I'm more accurate with a backhand and could very easily throw a mid almost straight to the basket, I don't want to do that. I don't want to bring out of bounds into play. I want to throw a high spike hyzer out here to the left with a forehand, stay in bounds, and just hope I get close. But I think there was a little bit of a headwind, and because I threw it so high, it kind of held up a little bit more than I wanted it to, but it spiked into the ground exactly what I wanted. A little bit outside the circle for the putt, and I left this low. I didn't want to run it. It does go downhill, and I wouldn't want a nervy comeback putt, especially after those 3 birdies in a row. So I left it a little short, gave it a soft bid, and take the par. Hole 18, 354 feet. There is a big pond to the left of those trees that if you get the nose up on an overstable disc, it tends to just want to filter into that pond. So I'm throwing a PD2 on a little bit of a hyzer and pushing it way out right to have it stand up and then dig in, because this is a raised basket. So my thought isn't birdie here. My thought is stay in bounds and pitch it for a par. It's the safest way to go about it. So we just pump that out here to the right and let it dig. Skipped a little bit, but really that's a perfect spot. Maybe 40 feet away. Just pitch up to the base, tap in par. I'll take that on this hole because this hole can get dangerous really quick. And there was quite a bit of wind when we finished this. So now going into hole 1. This was my favorite shot of the event. 335 feet. This hole is awesome. There are so many different ways you can attack it. But we had a little bit of a left to right wind here. And I tried this shot in practice and it worked out perfectly. If you want to avoid trees, just throw over them. So here I just smash a spike hyzer up and over the trees and just let the wind take it to the basket. And you can't see it here, but as soon as we get up there...
You with the spike hyzer?
I'm feeling highly inadequate right now.
Highly inadequate right now. So it landed spiked right next to the basket. And you got to reward the disc when it gets you inside 10 feet. So my putting wasn't that great today, but getting off the tee, I was doing really well, which was getting me birdies. So now I'm 4 down after being 1 over through 2 holes. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, there's a chance I could do this. Just got to keep pressing. So going into hole 2, 364 feet, it's on the other side of this pond. But what you don't know is that far bank, it's about, between you and the basket, it's about 300 feet to clear the water. But as you move more left, the bank moves away from you, so it's slanted away. So you could put a good, 350-foot move on it, but you could still end up in the water. So really, I just wanted my FD3 to fly nice and straight and then hyzer out at the end and just stay right. And I almost rang this up. I don't know if you can see it in this recording, but this was so close. You'll see a flash on the right of the basket. Yeah, that was very close, but left myself maybe 75 feet long. Spin putt, best putt of the day. That was if there is ever a let's go moment, that was the let's go moment. So it took me, 12, 13 holes to start feeling my putt, and that birdie felt really good. So at this point, now 2 birdies in a row. Let's go. We're 5 down. And not a whole lot of holes left to play, and I'm catching the leader. And I run exactly like my dad. Hole 3, 476 feet. It's about 400 feet to clear the water. So what I want to do, the way this water works, you can see it on the left, but there's that peninsula, and the water actually goes back right all the way past that tree on the right. So I just wanted to put my PD2 out because I know I can get over this pretty easily. but I wanted to put it out on a little bit of anhyzer to make sure that I crossed over the peninsula in case I hit the tree and go out of bounds or something weird happens. I get a weird wind and I go out of bounds. I at least crossed in up there and I don't have to worry about re-teeing. So I take this PD2, put it on too much anhyzer. I was surprised with a tailwind that it didn't fight out, and I just hit that tree on the right and dropped, thankfully.
Good spot too.
So for the approach, I'm thinking, okay, I'll just throw this harpoon on a little bit of hyzer, let the wind take it, and I yoink my wrist right on over and throw it to the left. Luckily, it's a harpoon, and it did most of the work to come back and left me with this circle's edge putt. But my putt was feeling really good, and there was no stopping. Boom. A little low, but a good birdie. We're 6 down. We're cruising. Hole 4, 308 feet. Uphill, there is a bunker out of bounds right in front of the basket, and there is out of bounds cart path on the right that pinches in real close to the basket. So I just didn't want to go right and didn't want to leave it short. So I figured, throw out left. If you let it go early, at least it'll be close to the basket, but throw it out left, take your par. You know, you don't have to push. You're doing pretty hot. I had not looked at the scores at all up to this point, so I didn't know where I was. I just knew to play my game and to get these strokes, I needed to be safe, which was my biggest detriment in past rounds. Tap in par there. I'll take it. That's fine. Hole 5, 338 feet. It's downhill. There is actually a mando tree on the right, so it prevents you from throwing a spike hyzer over the path. So the forehand is an obvious play to get through this gap, and I threw this perfectly where I want it to go. It hits maybe 20 feet short of the basket, pops up, bumps against the tree, and rolls to 15 feet past. You can see me reacting like it was still rolling, and I didn't want to take long on this putt. I was already nervous, and I knew there was a birdie, so we're 7 down going into the last 2 holes of the tournament. At this point, I didn't know if I needed to be aggressive or not, so I actually did decide to look at the scores, and me and the leader of the event were tied going into this hole. So I wanted to take my FD3, throw it out a little bit right, and let it skip back towards the basket. This is usually a birdie hole for me. But on the last hole, it had just started raining a little bit, like drizzling, and I didn't take the proper time to dry my hand off the way I normally would. I didn't use my whale sack or anything, and it just slipped out of my hand. I early released and went way too close to the inside. End up blasting past the basket, as you see, skipping way left to about 60 feet, 50 feet. And but on the drive, the leader of the event accidentally made a mistake and overturned his disc way to the right. And then his pitch up to set himself up for a par putt wasn't great. Left himself at circle's edge. So I knew I could give this a run for a birdie, but I only want to do a half bid because I don't want to mess up and have to take a bogey and put the ball in his court. Right now, I'm the one who's on fire. I want to put the pressure on him. Oh, sorry, guys. I want to put the pressure on him. I'll take a par to force him to make this par putt instead of bogeying to give him a little more relaxed stance. So I give this a little half floaty bid. It wasn't bad, but I knew it wasn't going to go in, and I will take that tap in par. Going into the last hole, hole 7, 367 feet. Plays uphill, so probably plays closer to 400 than 367. There's an OB cart path. You can see where those people are walking in the upper left-hand corner. It kind of pinches in towards the basket. And so with this, I'm just thinking, throw your PD2 out right, stay safe. Par is fine. You're up by a stroke because the leader missed his par putt on the previous hole. And I'm firmly in the driver's seat here. So just take this PD2, blast it out to the right, even a little over that tree. Just let it dump back in. I can't see where it landed, but you'll see here in a second. Right there. You can see me in the blue. I literally just walked up to it, pitched my penny putter up to the bottom of the basket for the par, forcing the leader to have to try to make this birdie putt to win. he would have had to make the birdie putt to tie to force it into a playoff. So I dropped to my knees. The 2 weekends before this, I played a tournament and lost by 2 strokes, and I played really well, shooting almost 1,000 rated golf, and I still didn't take that tournament. So this felt really good to finally get the win in MA2. And I can be a little dramatic at times, so I go with the between the legs dunk into the basket, and that's the win. Shot 7 down at Evergreen, and that felt good. So we finished this round.
Yes.
7 down, and I want to thank Nick Carroll for filming this. It was awesome.
Yes.
I want to thank everyone on the card. Everyone on the card was super awesome. As you can see, the round rating ended up being 978. I finished 7 down on the Evergreen, 11 down total for the day. You can see in this bottom hole 9, probably the easiest hole to birdie on the course, I took a bogey, and it was the only bogey I had for the day. That was my only blemish, and that bugs me so bad. But thank you guys for watching. In terms of the giveaway now, we won't worry about this. Oh, before though, go subscribe to Nick Carroll. Yeah, I'll leave the link to his channel down below. He's been putting these together for local events, and if you don't, that sucks. You suck. Just go subscribe to him. So now with all that formality out of the way, I can tell you about the giveaway. This disc that's right in front of my face. All right, get it out of the way. I'm giving it away. So basically, on this video right here, I want you to leave a comment down below this video that says I'm in, and you'll be entered to win the disc that I will choose in 1 month. So 30 days from now, I'll make a decision on who gets the disc. I'll put all the names into a random number generator, or I'll assign everyone a number, put all the numbers into a random number. You know the things. You know the things. And we'll pick a winner, and we'll get in contact with you and get that disc shipped out to you. So, thank you for watching, I guess, now with that taken care of. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, as always, don't forget to throw up. I can't believe that's become my outro. Oh well.